He claims he has a phone link to the spirits of those who've passed on. He says he has proof we don't die. His name is Stephen Holbrook, and thousands of people across the north believe in him. But is he a genuine medium who hears voices, or is he exploiting the bereaved using traditional entertainer skills? Tonight, we put his techniques to the test. This is a story of spirits, bereavement and tricks. Central Leeds, a member of the Inside Out team wearing a secret camera, is on their way to film a man who says he is a phone link to the dead.
I hear the spirit world, they talk to me. It's as natural as breathing. My hand, I'm going to tell you about my hand. Can you see this?
This is Stephen Holbrook, and that's his stiff left hand. It's like wood. Sometimes it turns blue. It's a sign that Archie, Stephen's dead spirit guide, is on the psychic phone.
The fifth way, do it my way.
Stephen says he channels messages just like a phone, but he reverses the charges and his audience pays premium rates. Activists from the Newcastle and Merseyside Skeptic Societies, fresh from checking out Stephen's performance, they're not impressed.
He doesn't speak to the deceased. He is about as clairvoyant as a teapot.
Overall, I would argue that Stephen Holbrook is not psychic.
So, who is right? Stephen Holbrook, who says he genuinely can hear the spirits, and who claims that his powers prove there is life after death? Or the skeptics, who say he is an entertainment performer using magician's tricks? It's important because if Stephen's phone carries nuisance calls and Archie and the spirits aren't real, there's a problem with the law.
If a trader gives false information or misleading information to consumers, and that causes people to do something they would not otherwise have done, such as buying a ticket or travelling to an event, then there could potentially be a criminal offence.
Some mediums say the performance is for entertainment purposes only. Is that sufficient?
If he's actually saying, I am an entertainer, I am a magician, I'm using cold reading techniques, and I cannot actually speak to the spirit world, then that's what he needs to say.
But Stephen never says it's just for entertainment. He repeatedly claims it's all real.
Fantastic. You've just listened to 50 minutes of people speaking from the next world. So life does continue, doesn't it? Because you've just listened to it.
Soon audience members are in tears as he relays messages from the spirits of dead babies, children, mums and dads.
But you're upset now, aren't you? I know you are, but you're crying, and you didn't cry. You didn't cry with Peter, and you didn't cry with your mother, but you cried with your dad.
They cry because they're desperate to make contact with the dead. It's one thing if they're receiving real messages from the spirits, but if they're repeatedly paying to be manipulated by psychological tricks, then there's a danger they could get stuck in their grief and suffer real damage.
I think this is a type of exploitation of the worst sort. And it really is manipulating people at a terrible time in their lives. One of the worst consequences for people who are very vulnerable is that they can end up stuck in that early stage of grieving and will never be able to relinquish it or move on from it.
But I'm going to say this to you, sweetheart.
Back in Leeds, a large part of the performance consists of Stephen asking questions. Sometimes he appears to get it right.
Is your mother-in-law in the spirit world? Did she have to go into hospital, sweetheart, before she passed away? Or into a home?
But often he gets it wrong.
Somebody lost their dad. It's to do with the brain. This is, I think this is a tumour or is it an aneurysm? I don't know. Quickly, somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Stephen performs all over the north, doing more than 20 shows a month, 9 months a year. His website is full of testimonials from satisfied customers.
Thank you so much for the wonderful message you gave to us in Middlesbrough. At Bolton Masonic Hall, I was in shock.
He confirmed that my dad knew he was going to die.
But he also has his critics.
I thought that the advert was done sensible, laughable, and then I got quite cross about it, knowing that the sort of people, the vulnerable types of people that would be attracted to this, not just attracted to it, but parting with their hard-earned money, I think it's disgraceful.
Stephen was the first medium Emma Marsh and 3 of her students had ever seen.
The kind of questions he would ask would be very, very general. He would say, "Why is February important to you?" And I was staggered at that kind of question. Well, February could be important for any number of reasons. People would be supplying him with the information, not the other way around.
Ellis told Stephen about a dead boyfriend. Stephen told Ellis what his spirit was saying.
He spoke a lot about the funeral. He said that the funeral rocked and that thank you for the flowers that I had sent to them. He also spoke about that my boyfriend loved me and that he cared for me.
But Ellis's dead boyfriend never existed.
My boyfriend isn't dead and none of my boyfriends in the past have died.
Meanwhile in Leeds, Stephen is seeing dogs.
Did you ever have a cross Jack Russell Terrier? It was you.
But when he gets a no, he changes tack and quickly picks someone else.
Sorry, because your mum pushed in, the dogs come back with her.
Now we get 3 experts, all psychic entertainers or magicians, to analyse Stephen's performance. They all say he's using traditional magician's techniques.
Round like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel.
Throwing out a random date, he's going to get a strong chance of a hit with at least one person in the room.
October, thank you. Why is October significant? August. The 5th of November, why is it significant?
Random piece of information which people are going to latch onto, which he's then going to embellish.
Somebody's brother take their own life. Somebody lose their brother. Yes or no?
It's taken a little bit of information, scattering it around to a big audience, to a big group of people, and finding that one person who seems to give something off.
They say Stephen's practising cold reading, an entertainer's way of finding out personal details through clever questioning.
You look at someone and you read their micro-expressions, their inflections, and work out statistically what's most likely for that kind of person.
Do you know what I mean?
Like inheriting jewellery.
2 rings, sweetheart. 2 rings. Have you got them both? Yeah. Good, she wants them back.
The second is a strategic approach where you just say things and they apply to everyone.
You know the house you live in? It's beautiful.
He goes straight away from just answer me yes or no, and then he goes all the way through the process, asking open-ended questions where they actually feed him. At the end of this engagement with this guy, the audience will walk away believing that he asked no other questions and people only answered yes and no.
Now Kennedy shows how easily it's done. He asks people to write down the name of somebody they haven't seen for a long time.
If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell you.
Kennedy will tell them the name using classic magician's tricks, but he also guesses their personal details using cold reading.
The person you're thinking of, is that a person who's younger than you?
Yes.
Yeah. Was this almost like a son type figure?
Yes.
Yes. Has your son passed on? Yes? Okay. Don't want you to get upset.
No.
It's like Damien or Daniel or something like that. Is it one of those?
Yeah, Daniel.
Daniel, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He would say too many flowers. Why would he say that? Why would he say that?
Because I've got a load of flower bushes that I've got for his memory.
Okay, is there a piece of jewellery that you've got that signifies this as well?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it a ring?
Yeah.
It is a ring. Okay, that's interesting. So how did that feel for you? Did it feel like, I mean, I literally knew those things about you, didn't I?
Yeah.
I knew that.
Scary.
It's a bit scary.
Yeah.
And this is the person with the dark hair, right?
Yes.
Yes. Sort of this sort of length?
Yes.
Yes. Why is she asking? Why is she saying about the dogs? Like, this will make much more sense to you than it does to me. Something to do with the dog or the dogs?
That's creepy.
Yeah. What happened?
Where I used to work, sometimes used to get puppies in who were training.
Is it? No, it's Doreen or Dorian or something like. Who's she? Who's that?
Doreen.
Doreen?
Yes, my ex-boss. She died about 4 years ago.
I'm not psychic, but I'm able to work out things about people just by your responses and the way you react. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Finally, from the USA, world-famous mentalist Banachek throws down the gauntlet. He runs the James Randi Foundation's $1 Million Challenge to mediums who can prove they're genuine.
Stephen Holbrook, if you truly are a genuine psychic, I challenge you to take $1 million. I'll be as accommodating as I possibly can, but it must be under proper, observable conditions. That's all that I ask.
So, time to put these back on the table, because all our professional magicians say that Stephen's phone line to the dead is, well, dead. So what does Stephen say? For such a good talker, he turned remarkably quiet. He gave us a statement which said he will never succumb to cold reading. His questions are for clarification of the facts, and our experts are not in the least bit qualified to judge his work. It also said Stephen didn't advertise his evenings as entertainment shows because they were genuine. Yet whilst he was telling us that, he changed his website to say they were in fact for entertainment only. He wouldn't explain that contradiction. Yet stranger still were the messages he received on the psychic phone from Ellis's fictional dead boyfriend. Remember, the one she made up?
My boyfriend isn't dead and none of my boyfriends in the past have died.
His statement said that was an appalling example of theft because the spirit's message was real and meant for another person. Ellis had stolen it. Stephen wouldn't explain why the spirit didn't just say, "No, that's not my ex-girlfriend." We've presented evidence suggesting Stephen Holbrook is not the real thing, that he uses techniques employed by entertainers. He now admits on his website that he is an entertainer. For years, Stephen Holbrook made a lot of money exploiting people's grief. Some may get comfort from what he does, but they need to consider the tricks of the trade we've shown you tonight. And on my blog this week,